Most school communities lose 30 to 50% of their members in the first few months. If you're seeing people join and then quietly disappear, you're not alone. In this video, I'll give you 5 of my best tips to reduce churn on Skool based on my 6+ years of running online communities and over 3 million in online course sales. And make sure you stay until the end because my final tip is the juiciest. My first tip for you is to have a clear step-by-step roadmap for people to achieve the result of your school community. If your school community is promising some kind of transformation or outcome, then the last thing you want is for people to join your program on Skool and not know what steps to take to actually get the result. You don't want them to join and then just be stuck in what looks like just a Facebook group without any guidance. So here's a couple tips to make sure you've got a clear roadmap that they can get right away. In your community, make a post that might look something like this. You're looking at the welcome post for my Built by Parents school community. And so here it tells them exactly what to do first, exactly what to let us know, and then kind of what the next steps are. So for mine, it is to join the weekly live trainings that are listed in the calendar tab and join our Build Together Saturday calls. And then it's also to explore the classroom. If you have an online course in the classroom tab, then you can have that clear roadmap spelled out in your online course section. If you're delivering it live, like I am in this example, as I'm doing kind of a live cohort training, then I want to let them know when the first call is so they can add it to their calendar and make sure that they're in attendance. If people know exactly what step of the journey they're in and they can see clearly how to get to the next step, they're typically going to stick around, and that's going to reduce your churn. My number 2 tip is to build in small wins for your members. Chances are your school program has an overall a big promise of transformation that might take a longer period of time. But if you as the expert can break that up into smaller wins for your students that they can get along the way, this will keep them engaged and keep them working towards that next milestone. In my previous business, I had an online course where I taught people how to start and launch an online t-shirt brand. So some of those small wins looked like creating a logo or creating their first t-shirt design or opening their online store or connecting a print-on-demand account. I had various different wins built in throughout the journey to keep them engaged. And when you can get people those small wins, it just gives them confidence and it makes them feel like they're really making progress. And again, this will keep them from churning. My number 3 tip is for you as the person hosting the school community, and it is to stay engaged. It's really easy sometimes just to forget about it or not want to go in there, not want to respond to everything, just get a little bit lazy on it. And the more you can stay really engaged with your community, the less churn you will have. What that looks like practically is responding to every comment. It sometimes means responding to DMs in the direct messaging section and making sure that you're providing those ongoing touch points for accountability. So you're just staying engaged with everybody in there. When you post in your community, it doesn't have to be elaborate, but it might be as simple as a question or a small graphic, a quote, or a tip that you can post pretty much daily just to keep people engaged and keep something in front of them. Another thing I would recommend as far as staying engaged is to recognize member wins. So when somebody in your community gets a win, right? Maybe it's one of those small wins we talked about earlier. Celebrate that in your community. Ask them to post about it. If they don't want to post about it, you post about it, or maybe both. But keeping that in front of all of your members will help people, again, stay engaged and will help them feel like this is possible and I can do it. It doesn't matter if you're in the business category or money category. This works for any category, but people love to see that there are other people like them getting that result, and that will keep them engaged and motivated to continue trying. My number 4 tip is to wow people with your onboarding experience. So that first impression, that onboarding is so important. And the cool thing is Skool makes it super simple to create a great onboarding experience. And I've struggled in the past with platforms like Kajabi or ClickFunnels to make the onboarding really, really great and automated. There was more manual things that needed to be done for it to be really great. But with Skool, they make it so easy. So let me show you some tips that you can do inside Skool to make the onboarding experience great. Most of it's going to be found right here in the plugins tab. And I want to direct your attention to these 2 options, auto DM new members and onboarding video. So let's start with the auto DM new members. We'll click into that and it gives you a few different options. And what you can do here is you can send a personalized direct message to every person that joins. And what's cool is if you look down here, it says the DM will be sent at a random time 1 to 5 minutes after the member joins. So that makes it feel like it's real, like you're actually reaching out to them. And what I would recommend in here is to maybe have a question or something that prompts them to respond. And I actually currently don't have that, but that's something I need to add. Mine says, "Hey name, welcome to Built by Parents. So glad you're here. The space is built to help." I'm not gonna read through all that, but it kind of tells them what it's about and where to start. So this is another way that you can tell them exactly how to get started and take action right away. And it's just a really nice touch to make them feel valued as they're joining your program, to get a DM straight from the owner or the creator. The other plugin that's really great is this onboarding video. So if we click that, you can actually upload a customized video right here, and it gives you some tips. It says videos under 2 minutes work best. So when somebody joins, they're immediately shown this video. And so you just create kind of a warm welcome. Again, tell them how to get started, what is the first step, and maybe give them a quick view of the bigger journey, the bigger promise that they're going on. And again, this will just create that really welcoming and great experience as they're starting your program. The last thing I mentioned earlier was just to make sure you have a welcome post in the group, in that community. We kind of covered that earlier, so I'm not going to go more in depth on that. My fifth and final tip to reduce churn in your Skool community, a little bit spicy, but it's simply raise your prices. Here's the reality that I have definitely learned from experience over the last 6+ years is that the lower the cost of your thing, the lower quality people that you're going to get in. When you raise your prices, you automatically get a better quality person, even without doing anything else, because you simply get people that have a little bit more to spend, and typically they're going to be lower maintenance, and they're not going to be looking to, join your Skool program and then get some crazy result in a week. They're not going to be relying on you as the creator to give them every single piece or make every decision for them. And they're generally just going to be lower maintenance. I have experience when you sell, a program for $47 or $100 or 200, even $200, $300. A lot of times those people are going to be very high maintenance. If you have a payment plan, they're not going to pay their payments on time. You're going to constantly having to try to recover the payments, and they're going to demand more of you and your team along the way. When you charge, let's say, $600, $1,000, or even multiple thousands of dollars, or maybe a higher monthly membership charge, you're generally going to get those higher quality people. And those are going to be the action takers that, work hard to get the result on their own and don't demand as much of you. I can't recommend enough to raise your prices if you're seeing a lot of churn on Skool. If you got value and appreciated this content today, I want to invite you to open your own Skool community with my link. You can go over to builtbyparents.com/Skool and you can open your own Skool community and get started today. You can try Skool for as low as $9 per month, and you get mostly all the same features you're going to get on the $99 per month plan. So again, just go over to builtbyparents.com/Skool to start your very own Skool community. I'll leave the link in the top of the description and down in the pinned comment. Thank you so much for watching today, and we'll see you in the next video.